Hello everyone, welcome to the EduAvenues TJHSST Math YouTube channel. Through our YouTube videos, we hope students gain a better understanding of how to approach and solve different types of math problems seen on the TJ problem solving exam. Even if you got the problem right, watch this video as you can learn helpful problem solving strategies that you can then apply to other problems. If you want to learn more about our services, please visit tjtestprep.com. Today, we will be going over the Real Math and Science Problem Solving essay from the 2017 TJ Admissions Test. Again, this is the actual essay prompt for the TJ Admissions Test, which was administered in January 2017. So the question that appeared on the 2017 exam is, you have a population of 1,000 penguins. 500 pairs produce 1 chick per pair. At the end of each year, there's a loss of 20% of the total population. Figure out how many penguins there will be at the end of 7 years. Develop a formula that solves the problem. At this point, please pause the video now to try and solve this problem on your own before we go over it together. Alright, before we solve this problem, we can start by creating a framework. So the first step would be to create a formula. By doing so, we can determine the penguin population after 7 years. And then we can discuss contextual elements that affect our final answer. This would be our assumptions. And then lastly, we can briefly state our final answer. So to create a formula, the growth rate of the penguin population needs to be found. This growth rate combines how many chicks are born each year, which is 1 per pair, and how many chicks die each year, which is 20% of the entire population. So in a group of 1,000 penguins, there will be 500 pairs, so 500 more chicks. So at the end of the first year, there are 1,500 penguins. We can use this information to find the percentage of population increase. We can divide 1,500 by 1,000 and then multiply that by 100 to get a rise of 150 per year. This can also be expressed as 1.5 in decimals. And keep in mind that this does not include the 20% loss of the penguins at the end of every year. To find out the total number of penguins remaining by the end of the year, we can subtract the total number of penguins, which would be 100%, by the 20% loss. Now, we would only have 80% of the total 100% penguins remaining. For the sake of simplicity, we will continue to express this in percentage in decimal form. That would be 0.8 penguins remaining. So with all the percent increase and the number of penguins remaining, we can now find the growth rate of penguins per year. We can multiply the 1.5 population increase by the 0.8 penguins remaining and get 1.2. This means that at the end of each year, there will be 1.2x penguins, where the x is the prior year's population. Keep in mind that this formula will only work if you have the previous year's penguin population. In other words, if you want to find the population of penguins in any given time, we would need to know the population from the previous year. At the end of this video, we will show you how to alter this formula and make the process easier. Okay, to solve the problem, we can start by using the formula from the previous step, 1.2x. And then we can find the population of penguins after 7 years. As mentioned by the problem, we will first start with 1,000 penguins and then multiply that by 1.2. This gives us 1,200 penguins remaining after the first year. We can multiply the remaining penguins from the previous year, which was 1,200, by 1.2 and get 1,440 penguins remaining at the end of the second year. Again, we can multiply the penguins remaining from the previous years, which was 1,440, by 1.2 and get 1,728 penguins for year 3. Again, we can repeat the same process for year 4 and we can get 2,073.6 penguins. This would not be proper because keep in mind, we need to round to the nearest whole number when dealing with penguins. So 2,073.6 would actually round up to be 2,074 penguins. At the end of year 5, we would have 2,488 penguins after rounding up. At the end of year 6, we would have 2,986 penguins, again after rounding up. At the end of year 7, we would have a total of 3,583 penguins remaining. This answers the question of how many penguins will there be after 7 years. As mentioned earlier, the formula of 1.2x can further be improved. In fact, a better way to express this formula is the quantity of 1.2 in the power of y multiplied by x, where y is the number of years that you want to calculate and x is the starting population. Using this formula would not require the population of penguins from the previous year. Since there would already be the starting population, which is 1,000, it will help us find the number of penguins remaining more efficiently. So if we were to find the penguin population after 20 years, we can substitute 20 for y, and x will always remain as 1,000, as mentioned by the problem. Now, we can solve the quantity of 1.2 in the power of 20 multiplied by 1,000, which is the starting population. And then we can get 38,338 after rounding up. Although this problem doesn't deal with such big numbers, we can use this formula to efficiently solve and find the penguin population for any given year. Okay, so every problem has a contextual elements that can be detailed further, which may impact the results of the problem. We call these assumptions. If you have additional time in the end, you may detail these further as needed. One example of an assumption in this problem would be that every year the penguin population decreases by 20% and does not vary based on environmental and predatory changes. Another assumption is whether or not 500 pairs of penguins produce 1 chick per pair. They may produce more, or they may produce none. When we think about our final answer, that's always something we need to state clearly in bold. So using the formula, the quantity of 1.2 in the power of y multiplied by x, it is found that after 7 years, the penguin population is 3,583. So that wraps up our video and solution to the 2017 TJ exam. We do a lot of work in the TJ admission space, so for similar solutions, practice prompts, and complete instructional materials on how to ace the TJ admissions process from end to end, we highly recommend working with us. We have a couple of different products that we offer: small group coaching, a self-paced online course. Last year, we had an 81% admissions rate to TJ. That's even higher for students who have a 3.7 or above GPA. Another thing that you can check out is our admissions blog. This includes special insights, tips, and tricks. If you're looking for more broad educational material, we also have our parent company, EduAvenues.com, and you can take a look at our boot camps. There we have our mathematics, coding, and college admissions boot camps there. Of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at tjprep@eduavenues.com. If you like this video, please subscribe.